Hello. Today is day one, sort of. For a few dedicated types, the days are actually innumerable. But let's call it day one. The first day where a line is drawn. A line between two wants. We are football fans. We are Tottenham Hotspur fans. We stand on this side of the line, and what we want is simple. Our grand, glorious club to be grand and glorious. For the lily white shirt, when it graces a football pitch, to stab fear into the hearts of the opponent. For our name to be etched on trophies, as it used to be. That is what we want. On the other side of the line lurk those who want something else. They want an ever-increasing set of figures. They want a grand total, not a grand undertaking. They want glorious profits, not glorious achievement. They want the club not to symbolise achievement, competition, sporting endeavour, the thrill of standing proud as the winner on the field. They see the club as a tool to be used for their own advantage, their own benefit, and their own enrichment. So, which side of the line will you choose to stand on? Will you stand for glory and the echo of glory, as Bill Nicholson might have said? Will you stand for glory, glory Tottenham Hotspur to actually mean something again, rather than the parody that it's become? Or will you stand shoulder to shoulder with land speculation, a cinema complex, and the European Super League? They believe that winning is not the only measure of success. Is that what you believe? So which standard will you pledge yourself to? There is a standard that willingly, happily, with gusto agrees to join, as I said, the European Super League. There's the standard that chooses to furlough staff during lockdown. A club that could sell for billions. How many wage packets could Daniel Levy's annual £6.5 million salary have covered? There's the standard that sacks a manager less than a week before a cup final, or days before a cup semi-final against their greatest rival. There's a standard that believes that you who fund the club, who pour your wages and your time and your energy and your emotions into the club, they believe that you are not entitled to answers. And yet they pay themselves egregiously inflated salaries in return for inadequate performance and a contemptuous attitude to those that fund them. Those salaries that provide a well-appointed lifestyle for Daniel Levy, Donna Marie Cullen, Matthew Collicott, Rebecca Capelhorn, Todd Klein, Jod Turner and Scott Munn come from your pockets, your pay packets, your household budgets, not theirs. Their standard is the one that discourages any serious manager from joining our club unless they're cajoled or bribed with astronomical wages. We are all fans. We want Spurs to be record breakers, don't we? Records like holding the record for most FA Cups won, or being the first British club to lift the European trophy. Those are records to be proud of. Here are some other records we now hold. The record for the longest period without a permanent manager in place. The record for going the longest period without signing a player, something that's not been repeated anywhere else in football. The record for having no permanent manager for either the men's team or women's team concurrently. Sacking an interim manager to hire another interim manager. Suffering being the victim of the second quickest 5-0 margin ever recorded against a Premier League side. Losing that FA Cup record to our greatest rival, and also having one of our other rivals equal our record. Being in the third longest trophy drought in the club's history, only the time after the establishment of the club and a period encompassing the Second World War were longer. Are these records to be proud of? Do you stand with those who have allowed these records to be set? Which side of the line will you choose to stand on? What will you allow to be associated with being a Spurs fan, or supporting Spurs, or the club itself? Don't you want to be associated with the idea of being a threat, being proud of your club, being able to talk of famous victories, hell, even famous defeats, rather than ignominious capitulations? But let's look at some of the things that we are associated with as Spurs fans, or the club is associated with. One of them is St Totteringham's Day, Arsenal's pissy, contemptuous, and hilarious to them idea of the day when it becomes mathematically impossible for us to finish above them. That's come about during and because of Daniel Levy's incompetence. It's like handing the mugger the knife, or an opposition manager, to unironically be able to use the phrase, lads, it's Tottenham, to turn a match. And it worked. The term Spursy. What more do you need? Our club has become associated, the name of our club has become associated, has become indelibly linked to a term that is linked to being the idea of capitulation, of being weak-willed, of being losers. That has come about under and because of Daniel Levy's stewardship. Stewardship. Do you know how that's defined? It's defined, to quote Merriam-Webster's dictionary, as the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care. Well, Daniel Levy has been careful, all right. Careful in just how well he draws maximum advantage out of the club for himself and his management consultants and Uncle Joe. He's not careful with the things that matter to our desires, our wants, our club, like winning things. Who cares what the insects want? Right, Donna? Think on that. Think about how you want the club to be stewarded, and then choose your side of the line. No one with an ounce of Spurs in their blood can stand on their side of the line. If you think that balance sheets and finance are the key elements of supporting something, then support HSBC. But if you want to revel in the joy of winning, if you want to thrust your chest out with pride at being a Spurs fan instead of being sheepish about it, if you think that our club's players should touch the cockerel on their chests and want to die for it, figuratively of course, then the side of the line you need to stand on is clear. So, stand with us on this side of the line. Raise your voices against those on that side of the line, who want to constantly have us talking about the manager, the players, the officials, the trust, the style, the weather, the price of fish, anything but them. Those are all symptoms or even irrelevances. Don't be seduced. Raise your voices at them. Shout your grievances at them. Don't dwell on the symptoms. Focus on the disease. They are the disease. Demand that your club deliver what any club should seek to deliver first, foremost and only, the desire to win, subject to no other consideration. Today is day one. Day one where we all come together in common cause to reclaim our club. The club built by the likes of Arthur Rowe, Bill Nicholson, Danny Blanchflower, Keith Birkinshaw, Ricky Villa and any number of other Tottenham heroes that the nodding dogs want to bury in the pages of history. What do they know of glory? What do they know of the history of this club? Nothing. And what's worse, they don't care either. They don't care to know. They don't want to know. Those are the prattlings of insects. Day one. As I said earlier, for some, like my good friend Brian Daigle, it's not day one, but many thousands of days in. He and others like him were a few very lonely voices for a long time, steadfastly shouting their truth, often ridiculed, sometimes even abused, but now proven right. They stood by their truth, even in the face of dissenting voices. Now those dissenting voices have ceased their dissent. Those voices are welcome. All are welcome. All who choose to stand on this side of the line, who choose to say, this is what I want for my football club, to win, to be glorious, to be Tottenham Hotspur again. If you too stand on this side of the line, then raise your voice with the others. You may think it's small at first, but remember, from tiny acorns, mighty oaks grow. A single voice only needs one more to become a chorus, a few more to become a tumult, a few more still to become a roar. Keep the faith and stand on the right side of the line. Glory awaits.